Since grad season's upon us, I'm going to show you how to make this design here. I'm not going to show you all the way to the end product. You decide what you want to do with this, whether you want to print it and put it on a shirt, make a sign out of it, make a banner, whatever. So this is just going to be the design portion. I am going to work in standard edition. So let's go ahead and get started. I have a small copy right here just so we can look at for reference. I have the fonts listed here. You'll see Varsity and Honolad. Honolad, I believe, may be a purchased font. I'm not entirely sure where I got it from, but Varsity I know is definitely on default. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to click the A here so I can type out 2021. So I'm going to enlarge that. Once again, I said I'm using Varsity for this, so let me select it. I already have it here, otherwise I would type it and pull it up. So I'm going to make this a little bit larger here. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ungroup this so I can drag and crop the pictures. There are different ways that you can put a fill into your letters, numbers, shapes. Today I'm going to show you the merge portion. You could also do a drag in from like another screen if you're dragging in from your Google Photos, Google Picture Drive. I find that to be easier. I have my phone automatically set to, it's my iPhone, I have it set to save automatically to Google Photos, and that drags in much easier, but I'm going to show you this way with merge. So I'm going to go up to File, click Merge. These are the images I'm going to use. This is the first one. So the key to cropping shapes, in this case it's a number, is whatever you want the picture to take the shape of, the actual shape has to be on top. So you see here the number is going behind the picture. That's not what you want, so you want to right click on that and you want to bring it to the front. So you want the number in the front. So let me just make this a little bit bigger here. Then you have to select both the number and the picture, and you're going to go over to this modify panel here and you're going to click crop. Then let me slide that out of the way. Let me do the next picture. So File, Merge, and then I'm going to send this to the back so that my picture is in the front. So I'm going to select these two. I have the 0 and the picture selected, and I'm going to click crop again. I don't worry too much about the placement right now. I just crop it first because we can move the picture around a little bit after we do that. Right now her face is cut off, so don't worry about that right now. Let's get all the numbers, number and pictures cropped out first, and then we'll adjust our images. This one's pretty large, so I'm going to right click, send the picture to the back so that the number's in the front. I'm going to make sure both the picture and the number are selected. Hit crop. And then let me merge my last picture in here. These are just pictures I got off Google. They were common photos, so there was no copyright on them. Okay, send, bring to front because I have the number selected. We'll go with this guy here. He looks pretty happy. Make sure both picture and the number are selected. You hear me refer it to shape at times just because it's like any shape or design outline you can pretty much crop a picture to. So now that I have these pictures in there, I'm going to adjust the faces. So I'm going to open this panel here. It's the palette, and I'm going to go to this third option here, the fill. So that's basically what these pictures are. They're fills. So when you open that, you'll see pan pattern down here, and then you'll see scale. So if I wanted to scale that picture, first select it, and then I can make it bigger. I can go smaller. You can do multiples. So you can do different things with this. You can do different angles. I don't want to get fancy with the angles. I just want it upright. The scale, I want it for this particular design. I just want one image in there. I don't want duplicates. So you click pattern. When you do that, this little circle with the cross in there shows up. You have to put your pointer on that and then click, hold down, and then you can move this picture around. So even if you cropped it in you know, in the middle, it doesn't actually get rid of the side, the rest of the image, so you can just move it around. So don't be afraid that you cut out a portion of your image, because it's really still there, it's just not showing. This picture is kind of blurry, but I'm just going to work with it since this is just a quick tutorial. Okay, now this one, I'm going to move her face. Actually, I was scaling it instead of moving it. Might want that a little bit smaller. And sometimes different pictures work best in different shapes. Like this one was perfect for the one. I meant to click on that one here, so okay, so I'll go with that there. So basically my pictures are all set. Next I'm gonna group them all, and I'm going to go over to this panel here, the transform panel. So I want them, because I move them around, you'll see they're not all in the same position. So I'm going to hit this right here, which is just going to align them all to the bottom, so they're at the same location on the bottom, so they're not staggered. Actually, I should have moved these together first. I want them closer. So once again, we'll do that since that went out of adjustment. This horizontal here, I like this because what it does is, you see I just move these by hand, and you can see by the little spaces here, they're different, they're spaced differently because I just moved them quickly by eye. So if I have the whole thing selected and I hit horizontal, it'll space them evenly. So I like to use that a lot. So now that they're all spaced, I'm going to right click and I'm going to group them, because if I move this around, I don't want them to move out of place, and I'm going to go on to adding the offset. So I'm going to go to offset here. For this project, I'm going to use 0.08 as my offset. My preference is actually I'm talking over myself here. This font here has corners to it, so I prefer to use corner for the offset. If I had a rounded font, then I would use rounded. It's just my preference, so you can do whatever you like. So I'm going with corner, and I'm going to apply that, and I want to add a color to this. I think adding this color here really transforms the look, makes it more finished, just my opinion. Now I want to add another offset. You see this one has the black offset, then the red. I'm going to do the same thing here, so I'm going to open the offset panel again, go for offset, and I'm going to add 0.08 again. You can make your offset any size you'd like. I'm just going for 0.8. So, and I'm going to make this one red. You could do it, you know, whatever color you'd like, yellow, blue, school colors. This one I'm going to do red. So now I'm all set with that. I like how that looks. I'm going to group everything once again, so if I move it around, it doesn't affect anything. Now I'm going to go work on the congrats part. I'm going to go over to A again, and then I'm going to type that out, and then I'm going to go to my text style, and that one was Honolad script. So now I'm going to size this. Okay, so I'm going to make this a bright color just so that it's easier to see. Okay, see, right now it's in the back. I want it in the front, so I can right click, bring to front. And you can play with this. Another thing, you know, if you don't like the placement, adjust it. You want to try not to cover two faces, so just kind of be conscious of that when you're putting your pictures in there. So if obviously if her face was up really high, then this would go over her face. I'm fine with this. Next thing I have to do, I'm going to zoom in here. You'll see the overlapping here. So I will need to right click, and I will need to weld this so I can get rid of that. So now we're all set there. Let me zoom back out. Now what I'm going to do is create, I'm going to subtract an offset. So I'm going to click on this. First I'm going to create an offset. And this 0.125 I think is too big. I'm going to try 0.08 again and see how that looks. If you type 0.08 and then you want to see what it looks like without actually hitting apply, just click on one of these and it'll switch over so it shows you. If you're okay with that, that would be fine. I'm going to go smaller. Let's try 0.05. Let's see how that looks. I think I like 0.05 better for this. I don't want too big of an offset. So I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to hit apply. Okay, so now what I want to do, I'm going to move this out of the way. I want to subtract this from this. So I'm going to make sure this offset part is on top, which it already is. I'm going to select both, go to my modify panel, and I'm going to hit subtract. That removed all those overlapping sections from there. Now what you need to do after you do that, it ungroups your image again. So if I were to move it, everything's like kind of out of place here. So to avoid that, let me hit undo here. Okay, we want to make sure we group it again. That way nothing shifts on us. And now you can move this back into place. And there we go. That's basically all set here. Change the color. You'll see you have the eyedropper here. So if you want to take a color from your image, you could do that. So if I click on that eyedropper there, say if I wanted the font to be the color of her flowers, it'll carry that over. Say if I have several reds here, but if I wanted the exact red that's on this here, I would just click on that. And that's one of the features of the eyedropper. If you want it black, you can just go and click black. So that's your basic design there. Let me know if you have any questions.